Hello everyone, welcome back to B&D Railroad. Today we are doing something completely different on the channel, something that we have not done yet. Today we're looking at a ride-on train. Now, the ride-on train was made by Lawn Tracks, and is their GP7 lowrider model. And this is an electric engine, and now it doesn't look exactly like a GP7, but it looks similar enough in our opinion, and then, we're going to make it work to how we want to do it. That being said, in this video, if you want to skip ahead to see where we actually work on the tracks, there'll be different timestamps in the video on the bottom of the screen. We'll have the working on the tracks, showing the engine off, describing what the plan is, and so forth. So let's go into this. This engine is what they claim recommended that can pull about 1,000 pounds, and we've heard that it could maybe do a little bit more than that, but that's all we really need anyway. There's 3 cars, a regular ride-on car, a gondola, and then a caboose. The caboose needs a little bit of work, but it'll get there. And our goal with this is kind of a first-year plan. This year we want to get the tires stripped, which is this video. Then hopefully paint the tracks with Rust-Oleum paint to make it black and restore it a little bit, and then take care of it from there on out. And then hopefully put plastic ties on it from what they have is regular 2x4s, and then we'll go from there onto maybe doing a track plan this year. Alright, so let's look at the 2 cars. Now this is your typical ride-on car. It's just a spot where 2, maybe 3 people gets it, but really only 2, I think. And the only issue with this is, for all the cars, is the trucks are beneath the both units. They run between them. Which, they were kind of advertised as for a safety thing. It looks a little weird, but again, we're just making it work. Our thought with this car is to maybe change it up into a B unit to match the GP7 and paint it black with a white stripe in New York Central, just so it would match and not look so weird. It's just an idea. I don't know if we're actually going to do that. It might come one day. We'll see. So yeah, it is a nice little riding car, just typical thing. Moving on to the gondola, this is just a regular gondola. It holds 2, maybe 3 people, but I think really just 2. And again, the trucks are between the cars. It does need a little paint, obviously, but they all do. I mean, it's been out in the weather, and alright, let's take a look at the last car. And this is the Caboose. Now, because the trucks underneath the first part of it are between the cars, like the rest of the train, it is a little weird looking. So our thought was to expand off the Caboose with a platform to make it more realistic, and then move it out forward to make it look like a work Caboose, and then put a swivel seat on it. So the Caboose would be longer and not so short as you can see it in the video. And then hopefully end up making it to getting a decal made up so it would be New York Central, so that it would fit with the engine, or maybe a different road name, but we're shooting really for the New York Central, and that's what we're going to hopefully go with. So hopefully when we're done, we'll have a total of 6 riders, including the driver. Alright, so let's take a closer look at the engine. This is supposed to be modeled off a GP7, and we're going to change this up quite a bit, I think. We're going to hopefully remove or cover up the yellow stripe and replace it with a white stripe and kind of make it seem like the lightning stripe on a New York Central. Hopefully go with that kind of thing, and then put the New York Central logo on the engine itself, and then hopefully get rid of the GP7 lowrider mate and the Lawn Tracks name. I don't know, we haven't decided if we're going to do that or not, but the main thing is getting the stripe down the thing. Eventually there's going to need some paint fixing, but that's part of it. It doesn't look perfect like a GP7 would, but it's getting us started, and there's lots of ride-on trains that don't look exactly what they are. Before we go into the tracks, we'll just go ahead and blow the horn. So yeah. Alright, so before we get started with taking apart the ties off the track, let's talk about the track. So this is 7.5 gauge, and the previous people that owned the track had them on 2x4s every other where the ties were supposed to go, and how the track is welded together. We're going to take them off in this video and then replace them, we're going to paint the rails eventually, and then replace them eventually with plastic ties, every one where they're supposed to be. So it looks a little bit more realistic, and holds up a little bit better to the weather. Hopefully they would last longer, but you never know. That being said, when they screwed it in, there's a mix of regular screws and torque screws, and then also a lot of screws that are stripped. So we're going to see quite a bit of that. That is the major thing with this. For the torque screws are coated, so it's been a lot easier to take apart. I have done some before this video just to make sure that it wasn't going to be too terribly long and arduous to take apart, and it's not bad. So after this video, we'll have about 12 more tracks to do straightwise and then all the curved pieces. That being said, what we have here is about 300 foot of track, just under a bit, including the straights and the curves. And we have a switch too. The switch is made of completely of metal. That's going to be something totally different. So the goal for the yard that we're doing by the first part of the layout, we need about 600 foot of track, roughly. It's not exact. There's probably more than that, but you know, just a rough count measurement I've taken. So we're gonna get this handled this year, and then hopefully next year move forward with that. It's gonna take a time. Like I said earlier, we're not experts at this. This is something we're doing personally and kind of privately. So we're just doing it our own way and going with it what we have and what we have found. So like I said, this will be phase 1. Hopefully phase 2 will be in the following years. It's going to take a long time to do more of this layout, but in time. And so let's move on to working on the tracks. Alright, so let's get into the first section of track. Now, this is the easy part, I think. The one major thing is the strip screws, as you'll see like right away. This one was easy, the next couple are just stripped. And what I did when I found these is I would just leave them. I would come back, hit them with a different bit, see if I can get them out. And if I couldn't, which actually was a lot easier the second time around, because I would either try a different bit or try a slightly bigger bit. So either way. So what I did off camera was put them to the side and just really put some force behind it or change the bits, and it worked pretty well. There's probably 5, maybe 7 tracks I gotta do yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and take those apart, either with drill out the screws themselves or use a kind of I can't think of the word now. Something to break it off to make it simple. So onto the second one. It's the same problem. There's lots of stripped ones, as you can tell. But it's part of the thing. It's been out. This whole set's 10 years old, and it's been on the ground since. So really, it'd be no different than it being out on an actual layout, and you have to take it apart to fix a tie or what have you. And it's really not that bad. It's really just time consuming. It actually was kind of peaceful taking it apart until you get a screw that was a pain to remove, and then you're like, well, cut the heck. So like I said, it's not that bad. And I did switch to this mode to a regular recording this way because you didn't need to see everything. I would just really just about the track and the process to it. And after this section, these first 2 sections, I'm going to speed it up 4 times, so it's much easier. Put some music to it and it just be calming to watch. You'll see still a lot of strip screws, and if you happen to sit there and count them and take a guess of how many screws there are, leave it in the comments. I would love to see if anyone catches how many there are. Maybe I will let them know if they've got it right or not, at least to my count. In just the video, there's going to be way more. There's probably double or triple of what there was actually in the video that you guys have seen. But yeah, so let's move on to the faster clips once this piece of track is done and go from there. And this is how they turned out. Now granted, we're not done. I still have about 12 more to do and then curve. But this first row was the ties that I couldn't get off. The second row is the ties that are done. And then behind it we have a pile of ties that are off. We hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.